The next session is called How the Green Deal Digital Platform Works, a live demo and an eye on the future milestone of APBF 2023. For this, once again, we have a partner of ours from Stacks, Mr. Benjamin Soh. He's going to give us a live demonstration of a platform that is a partnership between Stacks and ESBN. So thank you.
Thanks, Ben. My name is also Ben. Yeah. Okay, so I'm Ben. I'm the founder and managing director of Stacks and a colleague of Sharon. Yep. So thanks for having me, Kun Tiantip, Kun Tanya, and Dr. George. Yep. Many thanks. I'm very excited to be here. It's always very exciting to be among a group of leaders. Particularly today, we have several business leaders from both the financial sector and various industries. Because I think hearing from everybody, okay, I think there's a common theme. And to use one saying to summarize it, I think for at least my takeaway is that sustainable companies are profitable, and to be profitable, companies have to be sustainable. It's no longer really a choice between sustainability and profitability. I'm hearing from all the perspectives that sustainability does lead to profitability, and really in the near future, there's really no trade-off. Yeah, so with that in mind, okay, so as mentioned by the moderators and Ben, okay, we have partnered with ESBN, to try to accelerate the Green Deal. Green Deal under the ESBN's leadership has been formulated, late last year. Okay, and actually, our role as a technology firm is that we firmly believe technology can allow for scale. Yep. So we are hoping that actually with the use of technology, we could help to achieve these objectives in a much smoother and quicker manner. So with that, I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes to talk about digital platform and how we envision to use technology to empower the Green Deal. Okay, so I will not go through too much in detail about this because I think just now the panel has really covered most of it. Okay, but basically, just to re-emphasize the point that while SMEs represent 90% of supply chain emissions, and regulators are starting to focus on supply chain sustainability regulatory efforts. Okay, many SMEs still lack the resources and knowledge of how to get started. Okay, so that's where as mentioned, ESBN has come together last year. Okay, to launch a Green Deal program. So this Green Deal program, actually, I think there's a few facets to it. Firstly, there's a lot of advocacy, okay, and events like this, networks like this, where leaders, from the businesses and the financial sector can come together to advocate and enable, the industry. Secondly, we also want to see how a digital and self-directed platform can enhance users' capacity and capability. And of course, through this, okay, because sustainability is after all an entire link value chain. We have SMEs providing and producing products for corporates and financial institutions, okay, investing and financing these corporates and the SMEs. So as this is an interlinked value chain, we want to be able to see and promote partnerships between these businesses. And this is actually the essence of the Green Deal program, where ultimately we want sustainability to start all the way at the upstream, okay, where MSMEs would be able to provide, apologies. I'm hearing a lot of positive response. Okay, so but anyway, okay, so we're hoping to have where Green Deal program allows for sustainability efforts by the MSMEs to be more visible to their buyer, to their investors, and of course the financiers. Okay, so the Green Deal, to go into a little bit more detail, okay, we have 5 pillars. Okay, as mentioned just now by our chairman, Dr. George. Okay, green energy. Okay, where we have actually codified these 5 pillars to have content of these various sectors covered. For example, in the green energy pillar, we have content to cover the efforts of a company in implementing renewable energy or purchasing renewable energy if they do not have solar panels, for example. Okay, so that's where a company could be able to quantify its efforts, okay, in implementing renewable energy. The second pillar talks about infrastructure, talks about low carbon water infrastructure, whereby we also encourage the quantification of fuel consumption, electricity consumption, scope 1, 2, okay, and to a certain element, scope 3, okay, waste and water consumption. Okay, and to echo what Esther said in the panel, okay, this is also aligning with TCFD principles of strategy and setting targets. Okay, the third pillar is finance, whereby we want companies to be able to quantify their sustainable finance corporate strategy. Do they spend capital investment into their renewables or into their sustainability offering, okay, or do they, as a financial institution, okay, invest, okay, or provide capital for sustainable finance? Fourthly, innovation, okay, and that's where, okay, a company like ourselves, right? Are we doing anything innovative? Okay, are we helping with decarbonization, okay, or resource efficiency? And fifth pillar is circular economy. Even as an SME, we are doing a lot of recycling ourselves. Okay, we are choosing to go away. Stop using disposables. Okay, and also at the same time, we do know of many companies that build an entire business model on circularity with the production of recycled material goods. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, there are 5 pillars here. Okay, and we are encouraging SMEs to comply, or to actually not. Sorry, shouldn't use the word comply, but actually voluntarily, okay, align with as many pillars as possible. Okay, and personally, as SME myself, I find that most SMEs would be able to support at least 3 of these 5 pillars right away. Okay, so what's important to note is that this program is also aligned with industry standards and frameworks, okay, and can be mapped to other reporting standards. In other words, we are not trying to create another standard. We're not trying to create another new ESBN standard. There's a lot of alphabets out there in the universe already. Okay, so what we're actually doing is to align with existing standards and frameworks, so much so that if a company like my own, because we are SME again, right? If we are following through this program, whatever that we have already done would be mappable to other reporting standards. So that one day, if our company becomes a larger company and we start to get listed and there's exchange listing requirements, okay, we would also therefore be able to use the same data that we have contributed today to be mapped to other reporting standards. So that's some things that we want to be able to allow companies, okay, to be allowing data to be comparable, consistent, and shareable, ultimately enhancing their processes and streamlining their go-to-market. Okay, so having said that, I think it's important to also mention that the platform is live today, literally today. All right, so we just finished a session earlier, okay, where we have already adopted this platform, and on the website, okay, the Green Deal website, there's actually a link to the platform. Okay, platform is live today, and I actually have a 3-minute video, okay, that will actually provide a very good walkthrough of how it looks like. So with that, I'm going to start to play the video. Oops. Sorry.
let's bring on two of our guests now, Kenneth Ng, the sustainability leader at Razer, and Kimberly Lee, the lead at...
Sorry about that. The computer is too excited too. Yep. All right, so we're back here. So I don't know how about you, but hearing that music makes me feel a bit younger. So if anybody wants to feel younger, please play that video more often. Yeah. Anyway, just to highlight some of these important points in the platform, right? So firstly, the platform is already now deployed into our Stacks platform, which is ESGpedia. So ESGpedia, as the name suggests, is actually going to be an aggregator of ESG data. Currently or presently, ESGpedia has already been deployed for a year now. We already cover data of more than 200,000 companies, okay, and includes more than 407,000 certificates, 35,000 credentials, etc. Right? So we are very happy to be able to also support the ESBN Green Deal. And inside this Green Deal portion, there are several features that I wanted to spend a little bit of time to highlight. So for example, we mentioned about how digitalization could enable SMEs. So here we provide guidance notes, to help them with the self-assessment, which includes emission factors that are built in, to automatically derive the carbon footprint. Okay, so these factors are also localized to different countries because ESCAP, after all, covers more than 50-something member countries. Okay, so we need to be able to ensure that several companies, with several operations in several countries, could be able to use this for every single one of their assets. Okay, whereby every single plantation or factory or manufacturing location could have the carbon footprint, okay, or carbon emission factor automatically built in. All right. So today we also only request for data that is easily available. Example, electricity or fuel consumption, so that the carbon footprint could automatically be derived. Okay. We also allow for the uploading of documents. So these documents will serve as evidence, if there is a need to be able to support for assurance or to justify the gold badge. Okay, of course, it's important to emphasize that this program is entirely free, okay, for all these companies to create a profile. Right, so to create a profile on ESGpedia, that actually allows them to share it to a wider audience of corporates, investors, and financiers. As you saw in the video, you could keep the data private. Okay, you could also allow it to be public to all these stakeholders when you are ready to. Okay, so this again to emphasize is a free program. Okay, we hope that this will be able to allow for greater adoption of sustainability. All right, so as mentioned, the badges, something that the ESBN will provide. Okay, also very well noted on the panelists' points that technology is not quite enough. Okay, incentive mechanism is important too. All right, so here we do want to emphasize that we see that there's going to be a requirement soon, for most companies to start having at least some form of sustainability, right? At least some form of sustainability reporting or some form of sustainability performance. So that's where we want to be able to let them start early, have some form of recognition, okay, and hopefully, okay, through this recognition of these badges, allow them to actually be better in terms of their business when they are trying to sell to their client or when they're trying to get invested in. Okay, so the green badge is very simple. All you need to do is to sign up, okay, and essentially this simple action of signing up, okay, would allow you to have a green badge. Some large corporates have already told me that they like to utilize a third-party program. Okay, and when they want to utilize a third-party program like this, right, they would want this to be the minimum barrier for their suppliers to at least show that they want to take some action, okay, to promote the Green Deal, but most importantly, to at least have these suppliers getting started. Of course, silver badge is when you are able to provide at least 1 year of data, and gold badge is to provide at least 2 years of data and demonstrate improvement in the latest year. So if I was a large corporate and I want to use this program, possibly I could be utilizing the silver and gold badge, okay, to label them as preferred suppliers. So if I was doing a procurement or an RFP, the preferred badges would be able to get more points, in their evaluation. Yeah, so this is something that already some large corporates have been, discussing with us on the practical way to implement this to be able to drive an incentive mechanism. From a financial incentive or financial institution perspective, of course, this could also form some form of an SME financing program, okay, if we were looking for one. Okay, so I think this is a way that we can help to incentivize the entire value chain, okay, and hence partner together to create this path to net zero. You know, when we start right at the upstream, where we are able to empower the MSMEs, when the manufacturers and the producers of products are able to now better, get started on sustainability and start to be able to get, a way forward. It strengthens them. It helps them sell better, especially towards the European or American markets. This will also empower their buyers, because now their buyers are now able to, get closer to quantifying their targets, to quantifying their scope 3. And that's where, with the corporate champions that we mentioned, large companies that adopt this program, they will be able to, in one wholesale manner, allow for the entire value chain to be quantified. And of course, this creates a virtuous cycle, with technology empowering the MSMEs, and with the MSMEs therefore empowering the corporates, we are able to therefore lead the APAC region together. So the roadmap, is that we launch it today. So, thanks to everyone for joining the launch today. We have this digital platform already online. We really hope to partner with many as many as possible, as many of you as possible, corporates and banking champions, to really, be able to promote, our ecosystem around us to get started. We have already started to partner with channels like trade associations. I'm from Singapore. So we already have a few associations in Singapore that are quite keen, to learn and to start. But of course, this is of course for the entire Asia-Pacific. So we are very happy to launch this throughout the region. The immediate milestone is that, Dr. George mentioned about the Asia-Pacific Business Forum, and that's happening in Hong Kong in November. So we really hope that by then, the 22nd and 23rd of November, during this forum, we hope that we are able to highlight certain initial results. Hopefully on that, Hong Kong stage, we are able to have a few customer stories. We are able to have a few success stories. And therefore ramp up the participants. Hopefully we are also able to, at least have the headline number of a certain number of green badges, silver badges, and gold badges that will again create a virtuous cycle to continue encourage more participation. Ultimately, throughout the entire course of next year, we want to be able to continue promoting through our network events like today. And of course, we want to take in more feedback as more companies use the program, for us to be able to continuously improve. My last slide for today is just to encourage everyone. The platform is live. The QR code is right in front of you. We could sign up today. You could just sign up for now and you could fill in the data later. But the point is, you could fill in at your own convenience. And I don't expect you to have your electricity consumption right now, but definitely, at least signing up today will allow you to be able to get access to the platform. And as mentioned, the moment you complete the sign up, you will get a green badge. Submission of data is later on. But I would highly encourage, to get a green badge as you see on the screen. To just at least sign up. And then that's a very good lead. Towards leading your ecosystem. So thank you very much. And just like to end with one more quote, which I used today, which is that, back in 2015, before the Paris Agreement, Obama actually used this quote, which is, we were the first generation to feel the effects of climate change. And we are also the last generation to be able to do something about it. So it really gives me great comfort that so many different people from many different countries are actually here in this room today. I see us as the leaders of the region, and hopefully, as Dr. George mentioned, the war or the fight against climate change will be won or lost in Asia. Hopefully, we can all partner together. Collectively, we could, make a difference from here. Thank you.
So add to, the Global Compact teams, all the good help and contribution by big thank you again. I really think ESBN is now fully aware that we cannot forget the MSMEs. Although we have been trying very hard to get major companies to come in to champion this rush to this race to net zero, but we cannot ignore the MSMEs. And I like to take this opportunity to sell the Asia-Pacific Green Deal for business again. So please sign up and support. Thank you.